There we go. Oops, you know what I was going to do? Here, let me try this. Let me see if my microphone is working. I'm going to upgrade some of my things here, but for the most part, I think we should be okay. Hoping anyway. I don't know. System settings. Sound. There we go, Christine. Hey, nice to see you. Looks like you should be able to see and hear me. I hope that's well. I hope that is true. It's so funny because I have my earbuds in, and yet I'm really not really hearing you guys. So thank you, Christine, saying, yeah, see and hear you. Love it. Thank you very much. That very much helps. So good afternoon to those of you who are afternoon, and good day to you, sir. Good, whatever for wherever you are. Okay, cool. Good stuff, folks. Yeah, isn't this wacky? It's been a day of doing things a little bit different. One of which is, there we go. Lisa Bennett, ask and you shall receive. Here, I'm gonna declutter. See, I have some clutter all over there in the corner. Now all I'm gonna do is like, oh, look how decluttered it is. Oh. And then you look over here and you're like, nope, how about right here? How fun. Yeah, so I started today. I'm literally starting today at 2:30 Eastern time. I'll be here till 3:30 Eastern time. And yeah, fun stuff. Good things. Kat Roby is here checking in, and we got Kim and Christine and Danielle and Barb and Leslie and Lisa, a whole gaggle of people. Cheryl and Spreading Sunshine. And even those of you who are not in the comments, that's okay. You don't need to be in the comments. It's fine. You can just sit and hang out. We're welcome. Okay. Kat Roby. She's 1 out of 2 scheduled Beth binders for laundry, fold, and put away, and then prep things for the mail. I emptied some dishes this morning. After this TikTok live, I got my hair cut. It's funny. Those of you who saw me earlier today on YouTube, no, excuse me, flip that. We're on YouTube, but when I was at TikTok this morning, I had more hair on my head. I got my hair cut, and I barely even looked at it, and I have to take a shower. But I figured, why shower if I'm going to go out and declutter my garden a little bit, right? So there we go. Half SBB. Get it? You got to have to leave. You have to leave halfway. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's funny. I really haven't even looked at it, but I trust my guy, Phil, to do a good job with my hair, and he did. So yay. Good stuff. Good stuff. I hope you're having a good day today. I hope you are kind of checking off the things that you scheduled. I hope you are being flexible with the things that haven't worked out yet. There we go. Leslie is going to use notice as her hydration word. So thank you for talking about a garden, planting that in my head to say notice. There we go. So Therapy Gal Sue says, hi, you're on my TV, so I can't comment or see the comments. But ironically, I just saw that. Decluttering a work online project this hour. So yay, Sue, for checking in. And yay for doing something good while we're hanging out together. I love that. Feeling good about what you're doing, even if what you're doing is just hanging around on the couch. Decide to feel good about whatever you're doing. It feels good to feel good. So why not just decide to own it? You know what? I'm not getting off of this couch for the next hour, and I'm going to love it. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to revel in it. I'm going to delight in it. So practice reveling and delighting and savoring and snuggling up to and snuggling down into, getting yourself comfy and enjoying what you're doing. If you've got to do it, if you're going to do it, you might as well enjoy it, right? So put some enjoy to put some joy into what you're doing. Last night, I did not feel joy at all. I was exhausted. We had a fun day, but I was achy breaky. My body wasn't feeling good because I went kayaking and my arms are not as strong as I thought they were. So I was beating myself up about being weak. I didn't feel well last night. So I said, you know what? those dishes in the dishwasher, they're going to have to wait till tomorrow morning. And I said that to my husband. I said, I'm going to empty that in the morning, but I'm not going to do it right now. And I'm going to own the fact that I'm not going to empty the dishwasher. What did I do this morning? Well, I forgot that our microwave shit the bed, I believe is the phrase that I was trying to not say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Our microwave's 11 years old. It has never given us a moment's trouble, except it went wacky the other night. So I had to spend some time heating up some water for my tea in the kettle. So I said, aha, while the kettle is warming up and boiling the water, as that's getting going, I could probably take some dishes out of this dishwasher. And it felt so much easier to do that task, to perform that action. Look at me, I'm a performer. I'm performing an action. To perform the act of decluttering the dishwasher when I felt better physically. Never underestimate how you feel physically and how that affects what you do. Never underestimate how you feel nervous system what do I want to call it? Like in the feels, how you feel kind of energetically, spiritually, emotionally, all those kind of feely words. Those feelings affect what you do and how you do them and how you feel about doing them, how you feel when you're doing them, when you are talking to yourself during the process. Be kind to your web-footed friend, for that duck may be somebody's mother. Be kind to yourself. Yesterday, as I was kayaking, I was falling behind our friends. I was not liking how I looked in a photo because my arm looked big. I was really being mean to myself yesterday, but the best thing I could do was I literally was coaching myself. Taking a deep breath, looking at the sky. There's nothing wrong here. And saying, I may not be perfect right now. No, I'm not. Like, I am still kind of beating myself up, but I know I am so much better at calming myself down and being okay than I was this time last year when I kayaked, or maybe it was even 2 years ago. I don't know. So what we do takes practice. You will never set it and forget it. It will be something that becomes part of who you are and how you interact with yourself on a daily basis. And sometimes you can be really mean to yourself. Even me as a professional coach that says on the daily to multiple people, don't be mean to yourself. Who am I mean to? I mean to me. So you're not alone. Okay? You're not alone if you find yourself saying mean things to yourself. But what I want you to do is cue the water. I want you to notice. Okay? I want you to notice how you feel physically. And if that's throwing you off your game, if you have a game, what could you do right now to feel better physically? You could write it down in the comments. You could write it down for yourself, or you could do it right now. I had a break between coaching and where I am right now, and I knew I would feel better if I went to the bathroom. If I go outside onto the patio and at least get some fresh air in the sunshine. I had a little snack. Those things will make me feel better physically. And when I feel better physically, that helps calm down my nervous system. Now, my nervous system also, even if I'm feeling fine physically, can still be a little bit on pins and needles. Okay. Hey, C. Fitzhenry, nice to see you. I've donated approximately 150 items of clothing in the last 4 weeks. You are on a roll. I sat on the couch watching Netflix and writing it all down for taxes. Yeah, notice what you did. You paired something. It's like the bitter and the sweet. You paired something that you didn't particularly want to do, kind of the mundane task of writing down those things for your taxes, but you paired it with something you enjoy doing to kind of take some of the sting out of the things that you would rather not do. And because you did that, look what worked. Look what worked to buddy systems. Something you don't really want to do with something you do want to do can be a buddy system to help you get that thing done. So yay. Yay you. I love that. I love that. That is a tool in your toolkit now. That is now a tool in everybody's toolkit. putting on some music while you are puttering and decluttering, putting on some shoes, taking off some shoes, putting on some clothing, taking off some clothing. What's going to make it feel better for you to do something that at the moment you're kind of like, I don't feel like doing it? I gave a couple of ideas to get the pump primed. You can write it down in the comments, or better yet, write it down as note to self. In one of my books that I'm looking at right here from 5 years ago, I wrote down literally a list of things to do if I'm not feeling well. A cocktail can help too. Trust me. Trust me. I see there's nothing wrong with that. But I've got something. Where did I put my little thing? There was, right there. So close. 5 years ago, I wrote to myself, this is what I can do to get going again after I've stopped. And I even said then, fix any physical discomforts. And I made a whole list of where I get physically uncomfortable. If I am not in the right frame of mind, then I can do these things. These are the signs when I know I'm not feeling well. God, I gotta open this one up because I was feeling kind of off today. I'm going to reread what I wrote. We're going to have to remind ourselves of these things. Again, it is a constant reminder. Some things become easy, and other times you forget that you have the answers to your issues. Oh, that's right. I should probably drink some water. I noticed I was thirsty. And did I ignore it, or did I do something about it to make me feel better? How lucky are we to have running water? So, you know what? Every day I'm shuffling, boop, 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 right? Every day we're shuffling. We're doing the best we can with what we have, the energy, the time, the weather, the age, the aches and pains, how we're feeling, what's on our calendars. I've got a busy day today. Today is and has been a busy day and will be. Tomorrow's the same thing. And then just so you guys know, wait, what? Oh, I see what I did. Then I am off the digital grid, just as a reminder. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Beth, but I would rather you remember Destination Decluttered here on YouTube, on the internet at destinationdecluttered.com. And if you're on TikTok, I do lives there too, Destination Decluttered. Excuse me. I'm going to be off the digital grid from Wednesday until till Monday. I won't see you until Tuesday, the 12th. And here's the funny thing. I need to schedule my TikTok lives Tuesday, the 12th to Friday, 15th. So I will get those on the secret page. If you're part of the email group, I will update that today. So notice. I just said notice. Sorry about that, Leslie, or maybe not sorry. I am a professional. I do things well, and I schedule things at a time and a place that feels right to me. I have the luxury of doing that, but I also take you into account, what time of day it is, what else is going on. So if you don't have a grand plan for your life and you haven't planned things out, what do you want to do? That's fine. Scale it back, chunk it down. What are you going to feel good about when you go to bed tonight? What's a list of things that you could write down that you would feel good about even just starting? Or is there something you could finish today? Oftentimes we start at the beginning. Start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. I always say it like that. I don't know why. I think because it cracks me up. Do, re, mi, and all that. How about working backwards? What's something that you are so close to finishing, but you're not there yet? Can I help you with that? Where are you where you're so close? Oh my God, yesterday when I was kayaking and I saw where everybody was, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so close. I'm so close. And I reminded myself of my road trip thing here. And I really was like, yeah, when you've done 75% of it, you are so close to the edge, but you may not feel, or the end, the destination, but you may feel your crappiest because you're tired. This is how I felt yesterday. I had expended all of my energy. I had used my energy, but I couldn't stop because it wasn't just me, it was other people. And so you may be tired at the end. That's okay. What can we get you to do this last 25% so you can kind of cross something off your list? And I say cross it off your list, but my hand is going, take a big flourishing check mark. Okay. Right now, I just put a big flourishing check mark off of my scheduled YouTube live. I also have a window of time, a window of time, and windows of time sometimes close. They do. I have a window of time between the end of this TikTok live and the beginning of my next chunk that's chunked onto my daily roadmap. And within that kind of nebulous time, there are some things that I want to get done that I know I will feel better if I get them done. And I have a certain time frame to do it in. Now, have I overscheduled and micromanaged that stuff? No. I will get it done before 7 p.m. because I know I'm going to be much less likely to do it after 7 p.m. because we're going to a friend's house. And when we get home, all I will want to do is go to bed, especially because I have early coaching in the morning. Okay. So write this stuff down. Write down note to self. What are some things that if I got them started or finished them up or just moved the needle, progressed somewhat on a few of these things, I would feel good. I would tell myself a good story about who I am and what I did on this one beautiful day that I will never get back in life, because the only thing we never get back is time. There will be another, what day is today? There will be another August 4th. And there will be in the future, there will be another Monday, August 4th. But there will never, ever be another Monday, August 4th, 2025. So I just remind you to kind of put a little bit of tiger in your tank with the decluttering. I don't want you to spend all of your life decluttering. Now, there will be a bit of decluttering that you will do every day to maintain a decluttered home if that's what you want. So it's not like set it and forget it and done and you never have to do anything again. But I'm talking about the kind of the accumulated clutter of decades worth of not decluttering. Let's get this done so that all you're doing is kind of keeping, doing a little bit every day that feels manageable. Because I don't want you on the road the whole time. I want you to get to that destination. I want you to arrive at that cool hotel and check in and jump into that pool and relax and chill. And so what can you do to even get yourself a few inches closer to that wonderful destination? Okay. Now, Mama Koala is saying, I'm running errands for today first. After a bad night's sleep, I did not sleep well either. I think there's something going on with the moon and the sun and the stars and all that, draining me for needed errands this afternoon and organizing my room. Now, I was doing some coaching today with some people, and one of the things that kept coming up was kind of prioritizing. So prioritizing, how do you prioritize? What gets done today? And what doesn't get done today? What do you spend time on today? Not even done or not. What do you spend your time and energy on today versus what you don't spend your time and energy on today? And I will say to you, one of the first things I always want you to focus on is yourself before others. Yourself. How are you feeling today? If you're drained, think about that. You've got a leak in your gas tank and your gas tank doesn't have a lot of gas in it to begin with. Would you go driving all around, or would you plan your driving according to the amount of miles that you could drive with the gas tank, the gas in your tank? This is where you are both the driver of the car and the car itself. So you will do less when you have less energy. You have the opportunity to do more when you have more energy, but you don't necessarily have to. Okay. Mama Koala says, guilty for taking a nap feeling. Guilt, we kick that to the curb. And it just got run over by a truck. Mama Koala, if I would find this very helpful myself in order to solve this, or to at least have a better understanding and notice where the guilt might have originated from. So if I have this, I feel guilty for taking a nap feeling, I have a feeling that is associated with the word guilt, I would write that down. I would pull out my notebook. Those of you who went to the notebook things, I would turn it to the back because that's where I'll do some of the stuff. And I would fold my paper in half because I like to fold my paper in half. And I would write down backseat driver. And I would write guilty. I feel guilty for taking a nap. And then I ask myself, why? Why do I feel guilty? Usually guilt comes from don't do that, do this. Don't watch that, watch this. It's a heavy, heavy monster sound of madness, right? One step beyond. What do you think you should be doing? And notice the word should. Notice the word should. Mama Koala, somebody in your head, not necessarily you, a voice in your head, we'll call it your backseat driver. They could be imitating somebody else. Part of you wants to take a nap. Part of you says, I need to take a nap. I did not sleep well last night. But another part of you is saying, no, don't take care of yourself. Why shouldn't you be taking a nap? Who says? Write that down. What's coming up? Is it even your voice? No. Your backseat driver voice can be the voice of legitimate fear, animal fear. But oftentimes our backseat drivers are like little kids repeating what they heard from somebody else. And that can get you into trouble on many levels. So who's telling you to feel guilty about taking time for yourself? Aw, Danielle. Danielle lost some pets. Danielle says, today is 1 year since I lost my senior cat. The first of losing 3 pets in a year. That is tough, hon. Yeah. Lots of emotions over this weekend. Sunday, I went to a botanical garden and it made me feel a lot better. Made me feel a lot being in nature. Notice I put the better in there, but it made you feel a lot. Sometimes the feelings we feel are good. Sometimes they're not so good. And they are a rainbow of feelings. I can't help but feel myself, and from what I've heard to others, that there's something going on in the energy of the planet that has many of us feeling a little bit extra tender, extra feely. When that happens, treat yourself kindly. Don't be mean to yourself. Treat yourself kindly when you are feeling extra tender. Be gentle with yourself. Okay? And know that there's, a reason for you feeling sad. Sometimes you can't even pinpoint the reason, but it's just, oh, look, I'm a human being and human beings feel feelings. Okay, so Danielle is saying, I'm trying to finish up my projects and decluttering before welcoming a new pet. Wonderful, wonderful idea. How can we help you here, Danielle? Where are you stuck with a project or decluttering? I want to help you with that. And sometimes when you are feeling feelings and processing them, getting involved in a project can balance that out so you're not fully focusing on the way you're feeling. I'm not saying shut it down and ignore it, but what I'm saying is doing things, moving your body can help you process your feelings. Not just sitting there and kind of stewing in your own juices, but feeling those things, but moving through life gently, slowly, compassionately. So, Danielle, as somebody who wants to help, how can I help? Now, I'm not in your house, so I can't do the things for you. How can we help you? Okay, I love it. She's like, let me tell you, my garage is one. Last year, I drove everything out, and then my parents came over to help me, but we just ended up pulling everything back in, and I didn't really purge very much. That's a really good thing that that happened. You know why? Because you learned that everything and all or nothing doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay. Okay. Drug everything out. Get it. Okay. So notice the everything, all of it. And it didn't really purge a lot. Danielle, since you and I have been hanging out on these lives, one of the things I hope you've learned is, first of all, consulting your body and your nervous system. But one of the things that will also help your body and your nervous system is the concept of writing down and chunking down. So even before you get into the garage, this is where your notebook comes in handy. Write down destination garage. And before you even touch an item or even go out there, write some notes to yourself about how you want the garage to look, how you want it to function. What do you want to use it for? How do you want it to, and how do you want to feel when you're in your garage? Taking into account your body and your nervous system, write down how you want it to be. That's your destination. So take a moment and do that. And then after you know what you're aiming for, that's when like the list of actions will come in, and we will chunk that down this time. We will not do what you and your parents thought was going to be beneficial last time. We're going to chunk it down into categories and do a little bit at a time. How does that sound? Does that sound more doable than trying to do it all at once and putting everything out there and making the decisions on everything? Or can we chunk it down, quiet down, write down? That's way better. Mwah. Awesome. Good. Good. Write down that stuff and then write down the destination. And you know already certain things you know that would get you closer to destination garage, whatever, however you define it. I can tell, and I'm sitting in this room here, but I'm magic. So I know what my garage looks like kind of without even going in there. So I could write down some of those things too. Now, my garage is not a priority for me right now because most of the stuff that's bugging me in the garage needs to go down the basement. It's a cascading effect. But I could easily write down those things. So when it's ready, I have a plan. I have a map, a treasure map. And remember the treasure maps? I feel like I should print one out, like a pirate's treasure map with X marks the spot. X marks the spot is right here. Now, this right here is almost a bit of what do I want to say? It's kind of like a visual, but it's a lying visual because it's never a direct road from point A to point B. None of us are crows. None of us fly. So we can't get to someplace as the crow flies. No, our route will be a little bit windy. Hopefully it's always moving forward. It's not going to be, driving in circles. So think of that, a pirate's treasure chest map. Destination, treasure chest equals garage, decluttered garage. Each one of the little dots on the dotted line are going to be actions that you could do to get closer to it. I highly recommend always starting with the easy stuff. The surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental. Surface clutter, see what the surface of the floor looks like. The floor is a great surface to start with because it will give you a lot more space to walk around and to sit down and use your floor as a surface to spread things out and sort them. So anybody right now who is tuning into this YouTube live, it is, what day is today? Monday, August 4th. It's 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be here for another half an hour. Take a look at the floor where you are. Is there anything? Notice, see what I did there? Notice what's on the floor around you. Is there anything you could throw away or put away that is currently on the floor but kind of not where it's supposed to be? Okay? I love this. Christine is saying these lives helped me so much. I got the dishwasher unloaded and reloaded, some dishes washed, sink cleaned, and added acid to the pool. Awesome. Taking a well-deserved hydration break. Okay, Danielle says shoes I need to put away. Yeah, me too. I have a pair of sandals over there that I wore last night that aren't in the little hangy stuff. Okay. Yay, Rena. Yep, another half an hour. Everybody here, let's play along at home. You don't need to be in front of the TV. I don't see where you are. I hope you are puttering and decluttering. Look at the floor around you. Go put away a pair of shoes, but do this first. Make sure they are shoes that you actually are planning on wearing again. Now, if they're out and they're on the floor, it's highly likely that you've kicked them off of your feet recently. So you've worn them recently. But before you put them away, ask yourself, do I want to wear these shoes again? Maybe you kicked your shoes off because they were so painful and uncomfortable and gave you blisters. So before you put your shoes away, one pair of shoes away, ask yourself the musical question, do I want to wear these again? Do I like how they look? Do I like how they feel on my body? Will I wear them again? And if the answer is yes, that you will wear them again and they're comfortable, then take that step to put them back in a home. But if they are not comfortable, put them in a bag to either donate or trash, depending upon the quality of it. Okay? Chunking it down to one pair of shoes, chunking it down to a single t-shirt, getting practice in the decision making of decluttering. Now, a lot of surface clutter is already easy. Like when Christine got the dishwasher unloaded, she was able to easily unload the dishwasher because there were homes for the items in the dishwasher. She knew where the silverware went and the dishes and the pots and pans and the spatulas and the cutting board and the Tupperware. Each one of those things in her kitchen probably has a home. But sometimes your surface clutter is an indication that you either don't have a home for something that you like where it belongs, or that the place you want to put it is filled up with stuff that it's already full. It's almost like squatters. Like you want to put away your pants in that drawer, but when you open that drawer, it's already filled with other clothes. So notice where you may need to do a deeper dive into not all of your stored clutter, but in the storage that you have for that, what's the C word I want to use? Not that C word, that category. Okay, spatulas. Exactly, Christine. Spatulas. I totally used to think it was a spatula. My mother laughed at me, and I can see why she did. I'm like, do we have a spatula? Because it was the first time I read it, and it wasn't spatula. Yeah. Okay. But chunking it down into categories. Chunking it down, you guys, I am telling you, calming down, writing down, chunking down. That trifecta will change your life for the better if you just remember to do those things. Calm down your nervous system, drink down some water, notice, and write down what you want to do and chunk down what you want to do so that the chunk feels so specific but so small that you say, I can do that. I don't feel like I can do it all, but I can at least go to that next town. I can at least drive down the street. And then when I get there, maybe I'll take a left. And then when I go, and I'll take a right. And maybe I'll go through some stop signs, and then I'll wait at the light. Chunking it down also has a calming effect on your nervous system. Slowing down, writing down, slowing down your body and your breath and your brain, 3 B's, Your body, your breath, and your brain, slowing those down enough to write something down legibly so you know what you wrote down, and even in full sentences, provides a calming effect on your nervous system. Because you were also chunking down these kind of spinning thoughts into words, words that you would write down. Put away the dishes. Too big. How about, put away the dishes in the top half of the dishwasher? I just chunked it down by 50%, you know? Alrighty. So Danielle has offered, here's what I wrote. I want my garage to feel calm, easy, look neat and organized and clean, and function. Easily access to items, storage and categorized in a way that makes sense to be able to use the space for intended use. I love that. What a good start. Even with a lot of those general words, that's a wonderful start, Danielle. So now you have your destination. So what are some of those dots along the line? What's your dotted line? This is where normally, this is what we would call like a list of things to do. So you can call it that, but I like to call it kind of steps along the way, landmarks in your journey, whatever you want to call it. Danielle, you may know some of these things off the top of your head, or you could set yourself up for even more success if you felt like it. And I don't know what your situation is. I'm going to be here for another 22 minutes. You could set your own timer and say, I'm going to spend 5 minutes out in the garage just writing down, chunking down what I could do in here. And then just write that down in the back of your book saying how to get to destination decluttered garage by doing some of these things. Maybe 5 minutes seems like too much. How about going out there for at least 2 minutes and just writing that whatever comes up when you look at it, write it down. Oh, I could put out the trash cans. Oh, you know what would be good? Would be label the totes so I can see what's in them. Yeah. So, but I say this to you, Danielle. I love that you think it's a great idea. Don't do any of the actions, but write down the actions to do. As you said, right now, I even have furniture in the boxes that was never put together in the bookshelf that needs to be carried to the basement. Right. So don't do those things right now, but write them down so that when you do them, you can also cross them off the list. Because right now, it might not be the right time. Maybe you need help with the bookshelf. Maybe it would be easier if somebody else carried something or helped you assemble it. But go out there and make your roadmap, your treasure chest map that if these tasks were accomplished, you would get closer to destination garage done. Now, let me be very clear about something. Just because you wrote it down doesn't mean you have to be the one to take the action, to do the action, to perform the action. You can get help. Somebody can assist you with that, or somebody could do it 100% instead of you being the person who does it. And any kind of in between. You do it, sure, there's things that only you can do. Do the things that only you can do. Offshore the rest. Delegate the rest. Have somebody else participate in it. Now, the one thing that really only you can do for the most part is make a decision about what you want to happen with a particular item. If it's your item and nobody else claims ownership, you're done. You make that decision, do the thing, or again, use your resources. But if it is an item in your home that isn't just yours, but it's kind of, you kind of co-own it with somebody, make your decision anyway. I've decided I don't want this chair. Do you still want this chair? Decision making is really the thing, and because you're pinging it off of yourself about where you are and where you want to be. Now, we got some new furniture. I think that's why my head said that the chair. And I realized with our new patio furniture, we had a chair or two or three or four in our garage that we hadn't sat in for years now, and especially now that we have the new furniture. So, but I checked with my husband. I don't want this chair anymore, and I'm the one who bought it. But do you care if I let this go or not? And he said no. And I made a good new home for it. Did I have him put it in the car? Probably. There we go. Okay. So, Danielle, notice you say, my parents gave me the bookshelf. They didn't need it anymore. Notice they made the decision that they didn't need it anymore and they offered it to you and you said yes. But notice this, I might use it for art supplies downstairs. Notice the might. Before you move that bookcase down there, get more clarity on if you actually do want to use it down there. Now, this falls under the umbrella of working smarter, not harder. And I'm all about making things easy because think about this. You could take the time to move that shelf down there and then realize that you're not going to use it. And then you'd have to move it up again to let go of it. So maybe what you write down is make a plan for that bookcase and let it go at that. Okay. Just because somebody else doesn't want it doesn't necessarily mean you want it either, or you have to use it. Notice you're not like, hell yeah, I know for sure I'm going to use this in the basement for my art supplies. Notice the iffiness, the yellow light. I'm not like, hell no, I can't wait to get rid of it. And I'm not like, hell yes, I definitely am so excited to use it. On the fence, not sure. So if you're not sure about where things are going, or you're not at least leaning towards it more confidently, leave it where it is, but note that that's something you kind of need to figure out. But it probably will make a lot more sense to you when you go down the basement and you declutter your art supplies and you see the quality and quantity that you have. Do you even need as big a bookcase as they gave you? Or maybe you could store it in a smaller type of situation. Okay. But for everybody too, just because somebody gave you something that they didn't want anymore, remember, they said, I do not want this. Do you want it? And just because you said yes. Okay. And see, Danielle, I knew this was going to happen because she says, I used to be so bad at my old house, always saying yes. Hopefully, I will keep getting better at saying no to things. And you know how you get better at something? By practice. Practice, practice, practice. And if you are somebody who wants to stay good at something, you will practice it. My husband's in the other room practicing playing songs on guitar, even though he's been technically playing songs on guitar since he's been 14 or 15 years old. Practice lovingly saying no to the things you don't want. Notice how things turned out when you said yes to things. And if you don't like that, practice saying no. If they don't want it. See, here's the funny thing with me. Don't be one of these kinds of people. Do not give a gift with strings attached. If you truly think somebody might want something, offer it to them. But if they say yes, also offer it to them without strings. If you would like this, you're welcome to have it, but don't feel obligated. And also, even if you take it now from me and you decide later you don't want it, feel free to let it go. So before we want other people to give us stuff without strings, make sure you are not giving people things and going to be mad if they don't use them. Okay? Notice that other people made a decision. See, I love that. What good folks you have. Danielle says, they told me I can get rid of it if I don't need it. Yeah, or need it or want it. So I love that they did that. But notice, this is just one item in your garage. I bet there's other things like that. So go out there, take inventory. And not just inventory, because that is a word without a verb. Yes, and you have, well, you know what? You've got amazing parents, and I bet I know you're amazing too. Make an inventory, but make sure to put a verb in it. A verb creates action. Verb, that's what's happening. Throw away trash. Throw away, verb. Pick up, stack those chairs. Ask friend if they want bookcase. When you write down your list of things to do, remember, doing something equals action. So make sure when you're doing this that you use your verbs, okay? Because then when you put those actions there on your list, then when you have time, which you always do for the most part, that's when you schedule in the stuff to say between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., actually later tomorrow for me, between 1 and 5 tomorrow, I have a big chunk of stuff that isn't scheduled. So what do I want to do with the time and energy that I'll have then? Now, am I about to go out and do my garage? No, because I leave the next day for a trip. So what I will do is do some things for the trip. Notice the flow. You get an idea, your eyes see something, it creates an idea in your head, and you write it down. You write it down on a list, but a list is just it just sits there. In order to get things down, you have to kind of take it from the abstract world and put it into the real world, which is your calendar. Your calendar is a magic place to put things. And as soon as you write something down, notice the difference. Notice the difference in when you just have something on a list versus when you wrote it down on a certain day and time on your calendar. Which one increases the likelihood that you will accomplish that task, that you'll perform that action? I am thinking it's the calendar. And you know this because there are some things that you leave on the list that don't make it even to the calendar, because a calendar is a commitment. A calendar is a promise that's stronger than just a list of things to do. I know this because I use that power of the calendar to get really cool stuff happening in my life. I will block out a weekend to be like, this weekend we're going to Massachusetts and we're going to tour a mid-century modern home. And I put it on there so nothing else gets in the way. I see it on the calendar, and it's at a real day, on a real time, and it feels more real. So it becomes more tangible and, real, and more likely to be created than I want to take a trip to Greece and travel all those islands and stay in the fancy hotel. That's still on a list somewhere, but it's a lot more ephemeris, ghost-like, wispy than putting it on the calendar, right? Yep, LO. Writing stuff down. The good news is, too, writing stuff down, even right now, if I'm talking too quickly and I'm just riffing on this stuff and you're like, oh, this is good, and I'm writing things down, this video is being recorded. It is going to show up, and I'm just checking right here on the YouTube channel so you can rewatch it. Yeah. Okay, so Danielle, catch yourself. Do not overwhelm. I can sense the overwhelm from here. She says, I even keep parts from plants that I pot because I think I can start to seed them. But notice you're saying, okay, oh my gosh, too much. A lot of us, I will share this with you. Many of us who keep things are extra sensitive creatures. I called myself, I think I said sensitive creature or something like that to one of my clients recently. I'm a generous creature. I think I said that. You are a sensitive creature. You will see the potential and the good in things that other people miss. Other regular folks will throw things away without blinking an eye, and you see the potential in things. There's nothing wrong with that. Highly sensitive. I like that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that until it starts to weigh you down as opposed to giving you the life you want. So getting better at not trying to rescue all the pieces, getting better at rescuing the right amount of pieces so you can keep them alive. Because if you have all these ideas of what to do, but you don't do them, that sets you up for feeling kind of stinky. Okay. But notice that feeling of too much. Notice that feeling of too much. You don't want that. You want the feeling of feeling better, just right. So, Danielle, if you notice that you keep parts from your plants and you think you can start to seed them, you have a choice. You have many choices, but the two simple ones are do the thing, plant the plants, or start to get comfortable with lovingly giving them a burial at sea, saying thank you, but no. We're about to do that in about 8 minutes or so. We're going to go out to the front yard because our yucca plants are sprouting out babies. Do I feel bad about, pulling up those ones where we don't want them? Kind of, but I know it's for the greater good. That it won't kill the plant. It will make my garden look better, and it will actually help the other plant grow stronger. Do not make yourself feel bad if you are a sensitive creature. We are the people that create the good in the world. The people who create the not good in the world are insensitive, unfeeling, harsh, oblivious, uncaring. Who the F wants to be that way? No, thank you. But don't allow your sensitivity to also give you a life that doesn't feel good to you. Build up some of your strength so you can get better at saying thank you, but no. Thank you, nature, for giving us all those little pop-ups of the yuccas. I will take a look, and can we replant one anywhere else? Maybe yes, but if not, we're going to put it in a bucket that they're going to pick up tomorrow, and then they bring it to a place where they make mulch and they compost that stuff. So notice where you saying yes to other people is you not creating the life that you want. Notice that the stories you attach to things can make you feel good, or it can make you feel responsible for all these little lives and creatures. Again, talking about plants and whatnot, I was speaking with a client just moments ago, and she's like, do you have any house plants? I was like, nope, I do not. Because the way I live my life, I will I won't mean to, plant them. And I know it's better for me to not have it than to try to have it and then keep forgetting. We have one plant in the other room. It's doing really well. You know why? Because we have a habit tracker to remind us when to water it. So notice how you are. Love how you are, but make sure that how you are is giving you the life you want. And if it isn't, tweak things a bit. Tweak things a bit and make sure that your tweak is aimed at getting more of a life you want. Okay? Yeah, now Danielle, maybe you've got a green thumb and plants are your happy place. I mean, no judgment, whatever. She says I have almost 40 inside and a lot outside. Being in a condo keeps me in check. Okay, so notice you are using the boundaries, the container of your house to keep you in check. I love it. Yes, LO. Write down the idea, convert to action steps, and add the steps throughout the calendar. Yep, chunking it down, writing it down, chunking it down, writing it down on your calendar. Yep. And every idea has a step on how to get there. Everything that has been created in the world started with an idea in some human's head. I want to build the tallest building in the world. Okay, destination, tallest building in the world. How do I get there? And here's the great part. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Copy somebody else. Do what I do. Person who built the thing, the tallest building in the world, probably looked around and said, how did that person build that building? Let me find out how they did it, and I will copy some of their building techniques. How did I build? How am I creating a decluttered, wonderful home and life and time to do stuff? By doing the stuff that I share with you every day. Calming down, quieting down, chunking down, writing down, chunking it down more, putting it on my calendar, keeping my promises to myself. You put a thing on the calendar, it's a promise to somebody else or yourself. You're making your things visible to yourself and to other people. That increases the likelihood that you will do that action. You do the action, you feel good, you cross it off, and then you rewrite it to remind you of the good stuff you did. You know, it's as simple as that. Do not think it is more complicated than that. Do not overwhelm yourself. No, it is simple. But some of those steps can sound simple. Like I say, calm down your nervous system, quiet down your backseat drivers. There are steps to that. There's writing down. There's facing the uncomfortable words that you say to yourself. Is noticing where you are beating yourself up as opposed to being kind and then trying to do better the next time. Other than that, those 4 steps, physical, calm down, make sure you scan down, feeling better, writing whatever comes up, write it down, chunk it down, categorize it down, make it so small, put that small thing on your calendar on a day of the week and time of the day that feels doable. Yeah. And LO says, so true. Some of those steps are uncomfortable. Yes. And much like doing anything, you have to learn to tolerate some discomfort as you stretch your muscle and grow. I know this because I went kayaking yesterday. I stretched my muscles. It wasn't exactly comfortable, but I was able to get out of the water. And now I don't hurt as much as I did. And maybe I made a little bit of muscle. But I will remember next time I go kayaking to maybe chunk it down and not go for as long. I will write down, remind yourself that it may have hurt during the day, but it didn't hurt bad the next day. So maybe I grew some muscle. Being able to be comfortable with your discomfort will be the thing that changes you from a person who drives up to the light and instead of going ahead, keeps on pivoting and pivoting and pivoting, and learning to tolerate the temporary discomfort. The temporary discomfort for being able to spread and push out and expand your comfort zone. Because then the stuff that used to make you feel uncomfortable, now you don't feel as uncomfortable with. You're more comfortable with it because your boy in the plastic bubble has been expanded. You have a wider range of things that you don't feel bad about doing. And that's going to be the difference. If you want to avoid the uncomfortable stuff, that's your choice. There may be some uncomfortable things that you will learn about yourself that you may not like. But learning to learn about them and making peace with it will allow you to move forward feeling better. And this is decluttering. And a lot of this is decluttering your brain, your body, your basement, your garage. You will be challenged out in the garage of what decision to make. You will become tired in the garage. Are you going to do it until you run out of steam? No. Please wait until you've got some, you're not going till an empty tank. Okay. But speaking of an empty tank, it is now 3:29. My tank is not empty, but it's getting that way. So luckily I have gotten something to eat. I've spent some wonderful time with all y'all. And now, after I do this, I'm going to make sure I have some energy to go out into the yard and pull out some yuccas. But I'm also going to set a timer. I don't just tell you to use these tools and do them yourself, I will set a timer because I know my husband wants to be back in playing guitar. We will spend 20 minutes out there, and whatever we get done in that 20 minutes is going to be better than it was before we started. Okay? So I challenge you today, where can you set your timer for 20 minutes and just take some actions that are going to make you feel better? Even if you don't get it done in 20 minutes, at least you started or you moved it further along the road. Okay? Now, tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tuesday, August 5th, we've got a TikTok live and a YouTube live, and then I'm off the digital grid for a number of days, okay? Remember this so that tomorrow on one of the lives, if there's a question you have for me, you bring it to tomorrow, okay? So, yay, Barbara got a lot of stuff done during this past hour. I love it. I'm going to go get some good stuff done too, okay, you friends? I will see you.